Welcome, curious minds. Today we're diving deep into a fascinating source that promises to unlock what Jen Sincero calls your inner badassery. We're talking about her best-selling book, You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. Now, this isn't your typical self-help book, filled with just platitudes. It's really more about making a simple but profound shift, moving from just wanting to change your life to actually deciding to change your life. And it's packed with insights, humor, and some really actionable steps to help you overcome that self-doubt and, well, as Sincero puts it, kick some ass.
Exactly. Our deep dive today is going to explore the core philosophy behind Sincero's approach. We'll start by looking at how our subconscious beliefs often, dictate our reality. Then we'll pivot to how we can connect with a higher power, whatever form that takes for you. She's very open about that. And finally, get into some practical ways to shed that self-sabotage, that big snooze she talks about, and embrace your unique purpose.
Yeah, our mission for you today is really to extract those core nuggets of wisdom, things that can help you understand how to step into that potential, to feel like, Sincero's phrase again, the rock star of a creature you already are. So get ready for some hopefully insightful takeaways. Okay, let's unpack Sincero's starting point then. She really emphasizes how our subconscious mind is truly running the show, often without us even realizing it. But if these beliefs are so hidden, how does she suggest we even begin to identify them?
Well, what's fascinating here is this idea that our subconscious mind holds the actual blueprint for our lives. And this blueprint was formed from basically unfiltered information we gathered when we were just kids. These early experiences create what Sincero calls our beliefs, which then operate completely outside our conscious awareness. It's not just simple self-sabotage. It really highlights how deeply ingrained our early programming can be.
Right, so our conscious mind thinks it's in control, making all the big decisions. But it's often being dictated by these hidden subconscious beliefs, like a puppeteer pulling strings we can't even see. Can you give us some of Sincero's examples? How does this actually play out in real life?
Oh, absolutely. And she gives some powerful, pretty relatable examples. Like, imagine consciously desiring a soulmate, right? But deep down, your subconscious believes that, say, intimacy leads to pain and suffering. The result: Sincero humorously puts it as your body becoming a fortress of flab.
Oof, that hits home.
Yeah, it's one of those descriptions that makes you wince, but also think, oh, okay, I see what she means. Or maybe you consciously want to be hot and sexy, but your subconscious holds the belief that physical pleasure is shameful. The outcome: a sex life. Yawn.
Okay.
Another one: you consciously long to travel the world, explore, have adventures, but your subconscious whispers that fun equals irresponsible, which means you won't be loved. And your passport, it just stays blank.
She used that great analogy too, the dead skunk under the house, right? You can try to deal with the smell by, lighting incense or blaming the dog, but until you find the actual source of the stink, that problem just lingers. It doesn't really go away.
Precisely. And this raises, a really important question. How do we actually become aware of these limiting subconscious beliefs, the ones holding us back? Sincero suggests that we look at the areas of our life that feel less impressive or maybe just stuck, and really consider what underlying beliefs might have created that situation. For instance, with money. What were your parents' beliefs about it? What was their relationship with money like growing up? Do you see a connection perhaps between their beliefs and yours now? That awareness, she argues, is the first crucial key to freedom. It lets you stop working on just the symptoms and actually address the root cause.
Okay, so once you're aware of these subconscious patterns, Sincero says it's about shifting your energy. Brings us to what she calls the G word. She talks about God, Goddess, the universe, source energy, the vortex. Lots of names. She says it doesn't really matter what you call it, just that you develop an awareness of and a relationship with this energy. How does she explain the mechanics of that?
Well, she references Nikola Tesla, who famously observed, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Sincero explains this with a really simple analogy: the radio station. If you want to listen to a slow jam, you tune to 105.9 FM, right? You don't tune to 89.9 FM expecting slow jams when that station plays, like talk radio about immigration laws. Your reality, your life experiences, they match your frequency.
Okay. So if you're vibrating at a high frequency, maybe feeling grateful or joyful, then awesome things just sort of flow to you more effortlessly. The universe matches whatever vibration you put out.
Yeah.
And you can't fool it. Sounds like the key is consistent alignment.
Indeed. And this concept extends really powerfully to living in the present moment. She calls it being present as a pigeon. which is a funny image.
Yeah.
But Lao Tzu's quote captures it perfectly. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present.
It's definitely an appealing thought, this idea of living fully in the moment. But for adults, with all our responsibilities, bills, deadlines, how practical is Sincero's present as a pigeon concept, really? What are some of the immediate hurdles she identifies there? I mean, we're not little kids or animals just blissfully unaware of tomorrow's to-do list.
Right, she acknowledges that reality. But the core idea is that animals and little kids are always in the moment. They're full of joy and creative bliss, completely absorbed in what's happening right now. Sincero argues that everything you want, it actually already exists: the money, the person, the experience. It's not that these things aren't here, it's that we're often not yet aware of their existence, or maybe we don't truly believe we can have them. So the more present and connected to that source energy you are, the more available you become to download ideas, see connections, seize opportunities you might otherwise just miss. It's really about opening yourself up to receive, even amidst all those adult responsibilities.
Okay, so if all this awesomeness is available, just waiting for us, what stops us from reaching for it? Sincero introduces the concept of the ego, or as she cheekily renames it, the big snooze, or BS. What exactly does she mean by this? Is it just about being conceited?
No, not at all, actually. It's more like the shadow self, the false self. It's the part that sabotages our happiness, because deep down, maybe we don't feel worthy, or we're just terrified to be truly seen, to be vulnerable. The true self, on the other hand, operates from that deep connection to source energy. It draws validation from within, believing things like, I love and trust myself. This feels right. I have a purpose. I am loved. It's proactive, it's love-based, and it's committed to creating a reality based on, well, limitless potential.
And here's where it gets particularly insightful, I think. Sincero notes that watching someone else totally go for it, that can be incredibly upsetting to the person who's spent a lifetime building a really solid case for why they themselves can't do that same thing. And this often leads to disapproval, maybe even resistance, from those closest to you when you try to make big changes in your own life. Why does she think that happens?
Yeah, she frames it as a challenge to their comfort zones. Your growth, your stepping out can feel like a threat to their established view of you, or maybe even to their own limited beliefs about what's possible. And yes, she definitely warns that when you're taking those great leaps forward, life often turns to what she calls, well, shit before it turns to shanola.
Right.
This detox period, as she calls it, is the big snooze creating chaos. It's an attempt to self-sabotage and keep things exactly as they are, safe and known. But she emphasizes that every successful person, basically without exception, has been through this kind of phase. It's not necessarily a sign you're on the wrong path, but often quite the opposite. It means you're shaking things up.
That makes sense. And she says it's just as easy to believe we're awesome as it is to believe we're giants sucking things. It takes the same amount of energy, right? Same amount of focus. So why choose the drama, the negativity? She really urges us to try and see ourselves through the eyes of those who admire us, people who aren't connected to our insecurities and only see our true glory and potential.
That's such a crucial point, because we're born with this instinctual understanding of life's basics, aren't we? How to trust our instincts, how to breathe deeply, how to not care so much what others think, how to play, create, love without holding back. But then we replace these primal understandings with negative, false beliefs, fear, shame, self-doubt. So self-love, that deep connection with our highest selves, and importantly, an unshakable ability to forgive our lowest moments. That's the simplest yet most powerful way to reclaim that innate wisdom we started with.
Okay, so if we understand our subconscious better, and we can learn to tap into source energy, how do we actively make these shifts? How do we, as Sincero might put it, actually kick some ass in our daily lives? She offers concrete strategies, and she starts with what she calls the almighty decision, and what makes a decision almighty in her view.
This is really, really crucial in her framework. It's the fundamental difference between merely wanting something and truly committing to it, regardless of what obstacles life throws in your path. She uses Henry Ford as an excellent example of this. He insisted on his V8 engine despite engineers telling him it was impossible, and even after a previous bankruptcy. His faith and determination were absolutely unwavering. His decision was unshakable. That's the almighty part. A decision so firm, it literally dictates your actions and reality.
And this level of commitment applies to everything, including, interestingly, your relationship with money, your new best friend. She shares her own story about buying a new car when she didn't really have the money for it. What was the thinking behind that? What was the outcome? It sounds pretty risky.
Well, it was definitely a conscious choice. It was meant to force herself to expand her beliefs about what was truly possible for her financially. Money, at its core, is currency, right? And currency is energy. So when your belief in the yet unseen is strong and your frequency is high, she argues, so is your ability to attract money. And Sincero is quick to clarify it's not about being greedy. She actually asserts that the more you have to share with the world, enabling you to do more good. So her decision to buy the car created this urgency, this necessity that pushed her to manifest the funds she needed. It was a leap of faith backed by decision.
That's a fascinating, maybe slightly scary perspective. Okay, next up, let's talk about Meditation 101. It's one of those things that sounds deceptively simple, maybe easy, but I know for many people, myself included, it can be surprisingly hard to consistently quiet the mind. What are the key benefits Sincero highlights, and how does she make it feel accessible for beginners?
Yeah, she really frames it primarily as a tool for connection with yourself, with source energy. Meditation helps us in so many ways. It relaxes us, relieves stress, it strengthens our intuition and our ability to focus, it allows us to hear our inner voice more clearly, and she says it fills us with light and love. Sincere actually describes meditating and being in what she calls the vortex as like riding the airstream of awesomeness.
I like it.
It's pretty evocative, and she provides really basic steps. Sit comfortably, relax your face, close your eyes, or just gaze softly, and simply focus on your breath. That's it. She also offers options like setting a timer, maybe lighting a candle, visualizing a bright beam of light, or using a simple mantra like love or thank you. And she does recommend doing it first thing in the morning as possible to sort of start your day connected.
Okay, and from meditation, we segue perfectly into gratitude, the gateway drug to awesomeness, another great title. How does gratitude fit into this whole high-frequency manifesting mindset she describes?
Well, being consistently grateful, consciously practicing it, raises your frequency, it shifts your energy, and it also strengthens your faith in what's still to come. Sincero says the absolute high holy moly of manifesting is having unwavering faith and unwavering gratitude for that which you desire. Even if it's completely imaginary right now, it's about acting as if it's already here, feeling the gratitude for it now.
Acting as if.
Exactly. And the simple daily practice she suggests is every night, just list 10 things you're grateful for from that day. This shifts your energy dramatically, moving you from a feeling of lack to one of abundance.
Right. Now, on the flip side of gratitude, there's forgive or fester. This one can be incredibly challenging, can it? Especially when you feel truly wronged. What's Sincero's take on how to approach forgiveness?
Yeah, this is a tough one for many. She quotes Lily Tomlin, actually, who so aptly puts it. Forgiveness means giving up all hope for a better past. Holding on to anger or resentment, Sincere argues, keeps you a prisoner to that pain. It lowers your frequency, and it prevents you from moving forward. Forgiveness, then, is about owning your power by basically giving all that anger and hurt to heave-ho, letting it go.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. She suggests trying to look at situations from all angles, remembering that everyone lives in their own self-created illusion, their own reality tunnel. And she also notes that often what bugs us intensely about others is actually a reflection of something we don't like or accept about ourselves. That's what she calls the millions of mirrors concept. And for really intense situations, she even suggests having a shit fit, literally screaming and yelling alone into a pillow to totally release the energy, then consciously letting it go completely. It's about getting the energy out, not burying it where it can fester.
Okay, that makes sense. Get it out, then let it go. This leads directly into her next section, how to get over your BS already. Sincero uses that analogy of a bird frantically flying into a window pane. Right? It sees the sky outside, but misses the obvious open door nearby. What's the core message behind that image?
It's such a powerful visual for self-sabotage, isn't it? We do this in our lives. We see what we want, that blue sky, but we keep hitting the same invisible barrier, missing the obvious path, the open door to get there. We get stuck in our own perceived limitations. And that's because, as Sincero states quite clearly, what you choose to focus on becomes your reality. She gives that great little example. If you consciously count only the red things in a room, afterwards, you won't be able to recall the yellow things, even if they were right there in plain sight. We literally only see what we focus on. So our thoughts and beliefs, they truly dictate the reality we experience.
So a key step here is becoming aware of what your stories are. You know, those self-sabotaging narratives we tell ourselves, they often start with I always, I never, I can't, or maybe that vague one day. These aren't the truth, she insists. You are the author of your own life, and you absolutely get to write yourself a better script. How does she advise we begin to actively rewrite those limiting stories?
Well, to rewrite that script, Sincero really encourages us to just take the first right step. Most answers, she claims, reveal themselves through doing something, taking action, not through endless thinking or mulling things over. Don't wait for some kind of thunderbolt height moment or one single perfect calling to appear. Instead, just start by following what feels good, what feels right, or even just slightly interesting in the moment, and see where that leads you. Action creates clarity.
Just start moving.
Exactly. And don't forget procrastination, perfection, and a Polish beer garden. That section. Procrastination, she says, is one of the most popular forms of self-sabotage. It's just an excuse for not starting. Sincero's advice is blunt. Just start now. She even humorously suggests making a bet with someone mean, someone who will hold you accountable to motivate yourself by betting something you'd find really painful to lose.
I can relate to needing that kind of motivation sometimes. And finally, she addresses the drama of overwhelm.
Yeah.
I think many of us feel this one: perpetually busy, constantly feeling overwhelmed by tasks and responsibilities. What's her unique take on managing this feeling?
Yeah, this is a big one. Sincero actually contends that time is an illusion and that not having time is an illusion, which is a bold statement. She says if you respect time, treat it as valuable, it will somehow show up for you. You'll find it. Her practical strategy is to chunk it down. Break those huge, overwhelming tasks into smaller, much more manageable bits. She also advises just stopping saying I'm busy all the time and instead try focusing on what you actually enjoy doing with your time. And get new eyeballs on your problems. Don't be afraid to seek professional help or talk to trusted, successful friends who might see things differently. But most importantly, she says, prioritize and remember that you are #1. You have to take time for yourself to rest, recharge, and even have fun. That's not selfish, it's essential.
So, wrapping up our deep dive today, we've explored how Jen Sincero encourages us all to embrace our innate potential, our badassery. By understanding our subconscious programming, connecting with that larger source energy, and taking concrete steps to overcome self-sabotage.
Exactly. From recognizing those limiting beliefs and consciously deciding to clear them out, to practicing gratitude daily and surrendering to the flow of the universe, the core message seems really clear. You are powerful, you are loved, and you are surrounded by miracles just waiting for you to notice them and claim them.
It really feels like it all comes down to that almighty decision she talks about, deciding to change your life, and then having the faith to pursue your dreams, even when it feels scary or uncertain. It's about being proactive in creating the reality you want.
Definitely. As Sincero reminds us in her final chapter, beam me up, Scotty. Nothing is truly impossible. Audrey Hepburn had that brilliant quote, the word impossible itself says, I'm possible. And Sincero shares that delightful story of her grandmother, born way back in 1903. This woman saw a man walk on the moon and was apparently just amazed by McDonald's soda dispensers. Simple things. And when confronted with something surprising or seemingly impossible, her Nana would simply shrug and say, why not?
That's a great little story. So for you, our dedicated listener, maybe consider this. What would your life look like if your faith in the unknown, in what's possible, was actually greater than your fear? What if you truly believed deep down that what you desire is already here and available to you right now?
Why not moment are you ready to embrace? What leap are you ready to take? And as Jen Sincero might urge, how are you going to shine your big-ass ball of fire onto the world?